At the start of the film, we are shown a girl running in the desolate jungle. She was scared as if someone was chasing her. Suddenly, we hear the sound of firing there. And because of the bullets, the girl falls into the jungle. And the scene cuts from here, and we are shown the story of this girl's past. This girl's name is Julie, who is also the main character of this movie. 2 months ago, when Julie was stopped for driving the wrong car on the road by a police officer. The police officer was David, who liked Julie's beauty after seeing her. Instead of punishing her, he just warns her for the next time, and leaves from here. And during this time, we saw that he was making a lot of fun with Julie. Anyway, now Julie goes to her hotel, where she used to work as a part-time waitress. The people here liked Julie a lot because of her friendly nature. And the regular guest, who liked Julie a lot, she gives him a tip of $50. Even the chef in this hotel liked Julie. And today he invites Julie to go on a date with him. But Julie refuses him by saying that she was interested in someone else. Actually, today David's personality attracted her a lot. During these talks, David also came to this hotel. Where from their talks, we came to know that David has just come to this city. After hearing this, Julie offers him a tour of this city, on which he agrees. In the evening, they meet at a hotel, where David gives Julie a music box. When they went inside the bar, the chef was also there, who was just staring at Julie again and again. Which David had also noticed. Coming out of the bar, he asks Julie, who was he? Why was he staring at you? Weren't you interested in him before? Hearing this, Julie clarifies, no, there is nothing like that between us, he is just my colleague. And why was he looking at me like that? I don't know this. After talking to him like this, David also got a little awkward and said, I asked all this because I'm just a little insecure. I have been in a relationship before, but my girlfriend cheated on me. And now I don't want this relationship of mine to be ruined. A few days go by like this. They keep meeting each other. And finally one day, Julie decides to introduce David to her mom. That's why she invites him to her house for dinner. David's friendly nature and personality also impressed Julie's mom. Here, David also asks Julie's mom for permission to take him out of the city one day. There was a family cabin in a small town outside the city, which was a very beautiful place. Here, David and Julie talk about David's childhood. They also look at the pictures of their childhood. And David tells Julie that his parents died in his childhood, after which the sheriff adopted him. While talking about this, he also starts talking about his old broken relationship. And by doing all this, he got very sad. But then, Julie fixed his mood with her good nature. Anyway, now they come home. The day goes by. And then one day we saw that David quietly came to Julie's house and sat down. When Julie came home, she got scared when she saw him. Anyway, she didn't ask many questions here. But David was serious. David told her that you should stay away from your chef. I don't like his intentions. Hearing this, Julie starts laughing and says, oh no, don't worry, you're thinking too much anyway. After hearing this, David leaves without saying anything. Now the next day, we see that his friend Suzanne had called Julie to her house. Because she had to go to the party, and her daughter was alone at home. Suddenly the door was knocked. Julie went and saw that David was there. Who suddenly gets angry at her. He says, I have been calling you for a long time. Why didn't you pick up the call? Do you know how worried I was? Come on, come with me now. Now Julie's friend came to the house. Seeing her, David left without saying anything. Julie's friend had also heard all the things. Now Julie and Julie's friend, both were shocked by David's behavior. The next day, they were discussing on the phone, whether Julie's decision to come into this relationship was wrong. That's when Julie receives roses from David at her house. And she changes her mind. At this time, Julie hears a strange sound from her room. She went to the room and saw that David's music box was in the middle of her bed. And there was also a letter in her hand. When Julie opened the letter, it was written that David is in the backyard. Hearing this, she got scared and went to the backyard, where David was really present. Now Julie was worried about why David always came without telling her. Before Julie says anything to him, David himself starts apologizing to her. His way of apologizing was very strange. He picks up a rake and turns its face towards Julie's neck. And says, "I am apologizing. What do you want after that? Please, let's go on a date today." Julie found it a threat than an invitation. That's why she came to her house out of fear. Where her mom was also there. She tells her mom all this story. And decides to talk to David's uncle, Sheriff. In the next scene, it is shown that Sheriff had called David to his office. He asked David, "What am I listening to? You went to a girl's house without asking, and threatened her with a rake." David replied, "No uncle, I had gone to convince my girlfriend. She exaggerates a bit and tells you." Saying this, he goes out. While going out, we could see his expression. He was very angry. When he went out, his colleagues told him, "I have heard about Julie's report. Don't frank her too much. There is no need to overpower her." It was clear with her words that she also likes David. And wants to live with him. After a while, Julie had to go to school to pick up her friend's daughter. As soon as she reached school, she was a little late. And after going there, she did not find her friend's daughter anywhere. Seeing this, she got scared. And then that girl came in front of her with David. Julie immediately took the child's hand from his hand. Here David was angry. He tell her, "You have made a very baseless report to the police. What was the need to do all this?" Hearing this, Julie got shocked. She felt that David would do something bad to her. Afraid, she ran towards her car with the girl. And then Sheriff also came here. Who saw the scared Julie. And also saw David standing behind her. He thought that David must have threatened her. Or must have said something bad. That's why he threatens David now. "You don't need to come to Julie, you leave her. All this is not good." Inside, David was getting angry with all these things. But for now, the chef also asks him outside the hotel, "Are you worried, Julie?" But here, Julie does not say anything to him, and leaves to go home. As soon as she was taking her car out from the parking lot, suddenly, David came in front of her. Which clearly meant that he was keeping an eye on Julie. And he also saw Julie with the chef. He threatens Julie to get out of the car. But Julie knew that if she got out of the car, then David would say anything. Afraid, she started the car and came home. And as soon as she came home, she told all this to her mom. That how David was behind her. And after following her, she came in front of the car, and threatened her. She immediately reports this to David's uncle. Sheriff also investigates this. But he finds out that David was with his colleague all night. On duty, he did not even go near Julie's hotel. And so, now he started feeling that Julie really exaggerates and tells him a lot of things. Now we were also feeling that maybe it was an illusion of Julie. Because Julie was very scared of David. She puts David on her nerves. In the middle of the night, in the day, in the night. She used to feel that David would come at any time. And he would harm her. But every time, all this was her illusion. But one day, it really started happening. Julie first received a mail from her college. That her application has been cancelled at her behest. Although she had not sent any mail to cancel the application. It was her dream to study in that college. She tries to submit the application again. But finds out that she can't get the cancelled application submitted again. Now she came out of this problem. That she started getting a lot of mails in her name. And seeing this, she got scared. Ignoring all this, when Julie went to work, she saw that today the behavior of the customers with her was not very good. She found out that someone had spread rumors about Julie in the city. Like Julie drinks, her habits are not good. Although all these things were false. Meanwhile, David's colleagues also come to Julie's hotel. Who told Julie that you did not do well with David. He comes to me every night and keeps crying for you. Hearing this, Julie felt very bad. That bad was happening to her. But still, David was getting sympathy. The chef also heard all this. The chef knew Julie very well. He takes her out of the hotel and says. Then he hugged Julie. And as soon as he hugged her, Julie started crying. She also told all her fears to the chef. Julie did not want David to do anything bad to her. She did not want to live with David anymore. After saying this, she decided that she would find out the truth about David. Through her friend, she found out the address of David's ex-girlfriend's house. And she goes to meet her. As soon as the girl heard David's name, she got scared. She was not even ready to open the door. Which made Julie understand that this girl was not wrong. David was wrong. The way David showed Julie a bad picture of this girl. Now Julie was going to her house. Suddenly someone started following her. When Julie found out about it, that's when the truck hit her car, first from the front. And then went to the side and hit her in such a way that Julie's car went into the jungle, and had an accident with a tree. Later it was found out that it was not anyone else, but David, who was going to cause Julie's accident. Who comes and takes Julie out of her car. And starts threatening her. He brought a bottle of liquor with him. With which he put liquor in the whole car. So that everyone would think that Julie drinks liquor. And she had an accident because she was drunk. Here David had also told Julie that he was very angry. Because she had gone to meet David's ex-girlfriend. Forcibly David now puts Julie in his car. And starts taking her from here. Julie was in a bad mood. To control the situation, Julie apologizes to David here. David does not answer her. On the way, Julie also saw two boys on the road. Who were looking at her. But the boys did not give much response. After a while, David stopped the car in a deserted area, and took Julie out of the car. And started proposing to Julie here. Julie knew that if she refused, then her end could have been very bad. That's why she said yes. And pretends that she is feeling very good with David at this time. While pretending like this, she quietly followed David. She wanted to run away from here. But David felt her going away. Until he turned back, Julie was already on the other side of the road. Seeing this, David took out a gun. Seeing him taking out a gun, Julie got scared and started running inside the jungle. And David followed her. This is the same scene that we saw at the start of the movie. While running, David also started firing bullets. Out of which 2 bullets hit Julie and she fainted there. Seeing this, David went to her, kicked her, and checked that she is not in her senses. When he sees her unconscious, then he leaves from there. Without helping her. There was no sign of fear on her face either. At first, it seemed that Julie must have died. But she was not dead. After a while, she came to her senses. She tried to get up from here with courage, but she did not even get up. It was shown in the city that the news of Julie's disappearance had spread throughout the city. Her accident car was found near the jungle. But her body was not found anywhere. Knowing this, her mom, and the rest of the people were very worried. For investigation, Sharif also called an investigator from outside. After hearing the case, most of his suspicion went on David. Because David was the closest to Julie. He also told this to Sharif. But, the scene cuts and we are shown Julie again. 2 hunters were passing by her. She wanted to call them to her for help. But she didn't even have the strength to speak. Here, Julie had started missing her mom, and opened her eyes. On the other side, her mom's anxiety also increased. Immediately, she came to the police station, and told the investigator, "My Julie is alive. I am getting a very strong feeling, please find her." David also heard this. And he immediately went to the place where he shot Julie. He went there and became shocked, but he was seeing Julie's fresh blood. Because Julie was nowhere there. Which meant that Julie is alive, who asked David, "What are you doing here? Today, you had to go on a mission with your team." On which David answers without any hesitation. "Yes, I had to go, but then I remembered Julie. I remembered that Julie likes this place a lot. That's why I went here to find her." "Just in case," the investigator said. "I have already covered this area. And now it is my responsibility to find Julie." "David, don't worry. This time, David felt for the first time, that now he will be caught soon. On the other side, we see both the children in the police station. The children whom Julie had signed for help. And this movie is made for an awareness that no one should trust blindly. And just by telling this movie ends here.